That's racist. Well, I don't see how it can go on from there.
Reactionary entertainment news
What? Shut the... What the hell's wrong with you?
with James Blunt.
What? Oh my God.
It's yours.
In our first story, a sequel to the surprise box office hit The Purge has been greenlit, making this the fourth film by producer Jason Blum to become franchised, joining his other low-budget horror hits Paranormal Activity, Insidious, and Sinister. Well, first of all, I didn't realize that this was, well, I guess they're saying producer, but I didn't realize the same person was responsible for all those movies.
Yeah.
And second, I had actually been thinking over the weekend that The Purge is wide open for a sequel.
Yes.
During our review of it, we had talked a lot about like other directions the movie could have gone in and other aspects of The Purge that they could have followed, you know, not just like this home invasion type thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of material here.
Yes.
So I'm actually not at all surprised by this.
Yes, and the only thing that would make this news really sad is if they decided to follow the same family.
No, they cannot do that.
They cannot. I know they can't, but I mean,
until the third one.
you know how studios are. You know, it's like don't mess with what works. Let's give them more of the same. So, my hope is my number one hope is that they do exactly what you just said, which is they just focus completely on a different aspect of the Purge altogether, different people, and just don't try and recycle what we already seen.
Right.
But another thing, and this kind of goes into the Paranormal Activity angle that the producer's known for, I think it would be a kind of a clever idea to have maybe another family or another group of people that know the characters from this movie and like see their night or something. Have like a crossover thing or something.
I don't even want that. I want totally different.
Totally different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Different perspective. Maybe follow the homeless guy for the next time or something like that.
How about like a completely different part of the country? Like instead of like the rich neighborhood, go to like a slums or something.
I don't know if there's slums anymore though.
We never saw anything outside of that street, so they have a lot of leeway. They can make up whatever they want to without really stepping on their own toes.
But see, the thing that started getting me think that there was material here for a sequel is because they did a lot of like anecdotal backstory about the new founding fathers and all of this stuff and how the Purge came about. There's a lot that can be explained there. And there's a lot that can be explained about the true motivation behind the Purge.
I want to see a film based on the first year of the Purge.
Something like that.
Where they show like them like like the rules haven't been set exactly just yet. It's like the growing pains of the Purge. It's like after they destroy a building, okay, no more rocket launchers.
And after someone assassinates the president, okay, we need to do something about this.
Because we know no matter how well somebody plans and makes rules about things, there's always something they forget. So, yeah, I mean, I guess this is a somewhat positive news that they're making a sequel to that, but we'll see how it turns out. But, okay.
Okay. In our next story, Arnold Schwarzenegger confirms that he will, in fact, reprise his iconic role as a Terminator in the next installment in the franchise, Terminator 5, and reaffirms that the Twins and Conan sequels are still in the works. The way that I want this to happen is for the Twins and Conan sequels to be one film.
Twin Conans?
Well, an Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan and a Danny DeVito Conan.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
But the bigger news is that he's going to be a Terminator again, which I don't know how they're going to do that.
It's
not possible.
stupid.
So now
Stealing a
Terminator
line from
8.
James's intro. It's stupid.
Well, the rumor, the one thing that people had been bouncing around was that, since the last film has actually taken us into after Skynet took over and had destroyed, the world basically, that him coming back in the franchise, we would actually see the person that the Terminators were molded after,
I see.
where he would actually be a human. But he's adamant about saying he will be a Terminator, which just sounds like a horrible idea.
It does.
Plus, he's like super old now.
Yes.
That's
He looks
my
totally
point.
different.
Yeah,
That's my point.
nobody wants to see a saggy, grumpy old Terminator.
But he could play a role where he is like the leader of building these Terminators based off him.
Yeah, that would be a much more interesting idea to bring him back into it.
And you don't have to get rid of the whole salvation storyline. You can kind of continue off from that.
Yeah, but I mean, as we've been able to tell, like with each successive sequel, they've just keep screwing it up more and more. So this seems to be in line with what they've done in the past.
Is it true that the director from Fast and Furious might do it?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard about a director yet.
Thought I read something about that.
Anything would be better than McG, who made the fourth movie. I can't stand that guy.
On Star Trek The Next Generation, Brent Spiner specifically asked for his release from the franchise because he felt he was getting too old to play Commander Data. Because Data's, a robot or a cyborg who shouldn't age. And so I don't know how Schwarzenegger can't see the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for him revisiting some of these older franchises. Well, Twins, not really, but like Conan, I can kind of see that. But, just leave these other things alone unless they actually have a smart and good idea.
Oh, isn't Twins the thing where he thinks it's going to be hilarious to have
Eddie Murphy?
a black twin?
Yeah, Triplets is supposed to be the title. Yeah. we talked about that on here before.
Yeah.
Do you have any other Schwarzenegger stories, Dave?
No, that was the only one I saw.
Well, the other one is that he's going to be in Expendables 3.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, they did confirm that he will be back in that. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. So.
You ready to move on?
Sure.
In our next story, watch the new zombie action flick World War Z early. Now, this sounds like you pimping your movie, Dave.
Hey, this is still news. This is still news.
Watch the new zombie action flick World War Z early and with perks by purchasing a mega ticket. Paramount Pictures' new incentive program to get people out to the theaters. Via Collider.com, mega ticket perks are as follows. 1 adult ticket for an advanced Real D screening, small popcorn, HD digital copy of the movie when it becomes available, 1 pair of World War Z collector custom Real D 3D glasses, 1 official full-size limited edition movie poster. I'm waiting to see how much this costs. All of this can be yours for the low, low price of $50. I actually don't think that's outrageous.
Considering all the content you're getting.
But the thing is, you have to buy it before you know if you like the movie.
Yeah, it also has to do with the movie, if it's any good or not. But first of all, I'm really surprised that this thing's in 3D. Has anybody seen the trailer for this in 3D?
No, I've never even heard it promoted as 3D.
Yeah, that was the first thing that struck me. I was like, what? Real D 3D? That's news to me.
I will not be seeing it in 3D.
I am not either. This really reeks of some sort of finagling with the studio because, yeah, up to this point, this thing has never been promoted as being in 3D.
They are ruining the format.
But I agree with James. The price point isn't bad if all that stuff interests you.
If this is ultimately a movie that you love, $50 is cheap.
Yeah. And it scales also. Like, that's for an adult ticket. If it's a children's ticket or a senior's ticket, of course, the price goes down a little bit. But
$49.50.
Yeah, right. That's what the student discount.
Like if it was episode 7, I would be all over it.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I think this is. I don't think this is a one-time thing. I think this is going to be the beginning of a new way for studios to try and get people into theaters, is by offering these extra incentives. They've tried it in the past, like early advanced screenings of IMAX movies have sometimes given out like limited edition posters and whatnot. We've seen it with the limited edition collector's 3D glasses in the past, but this is the first time where they've actually like given this promotion a name and like have like dedicated certain screenings to it, because it's only playing in 5 theaters around the country, 2 of which are here in California. So.
Are you doing it?
I can't. The screenings are at 7:30 p.m. and I'll be just getting out of work at that time, and the closest one to us is the Spectrum. So there's no way I could do that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this was more interesting just in the realm of like what studios are trying to do to, get people into theaters. By offering, I think the idea of the HD digital copy is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if you got it like in advance of the movie actually being released on video, like by a month or 2. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably sell this whole idea.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, there's a lot of people out there that only do digital copies now. Like I've just started doing that with the ultraviolet digital copies that come with Blu-rays and the Voodoo.com website. I've been getting a lot of stuff. I mean, I've actually been converting my old DVDs into HD digital copies, because they now have a program where you can do that off your own computer now. And it's only for like $2 or $3 to convert them. And, since we're getting more into a digital world, there's going to be more people just wanting a digital copy. And getting a digital copy with your actual ticket purchase is actually kind of cool, because then you're actually buying the movie at the same time as you're going to see it. And, the pricing is still, a little bit not exactly like a discount per se, but I think it gives people an extra incentive to want to go see it. But it will suck, though, if you go see it and you hated it and you get an HD digital copy of it.
That's the whole thing.
Unless you get the code and then you can just sell it.
Interesting concept. But like I said, if you made this available to my barber for Man of Steel, he would be all over. You're talking about a movie. Forget the 3D stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about a movie ticket, the limited edition movie poster, and a digital copy. Especially if that digital copy is available like a month in advance, people would be all over that for certain movies.
Yeah.
Right. But for something like World War Z, where we don't know exactly what we're going to get, it's a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah. Yeah, and come on now, a small popcorn and no drink. Like, throw a dog a bone. Come on.
Especially since sodas are the cheapest thing in the theater.
It's like
water and syrup.
You're just setting me up to fail there. You're just setting me up to fail. I'm gonna have to get a drink. Bastards. But okay.
I think the ingredients for soda is like 10 cents, and they upsell you to like $6.
Well, at least some theaters have like infinite refills now, but not like you ever needed that, because it's like refilling a 2-liter.
Exactly.
And how many people go out of the theater to get refills?
I've seen a handful of people do that in the past. At least I think I have, where they've walked out with their cup and then they've come back with their cup.
Oh my God.
But
I've only seen people get popcorn refills.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone get a soda refill.
Well, popcorn refills are economical just because, especially if you go with a group of people, you get to spread it out and then go get a refill.
Yeah, you get the boxes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you should do that before the movie starts.
Yes.
It's the people who get up in the middle of the movie that I don't know.
They're like, oh, shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, time to go.
Or the people that show up 5 minutes before the movie starts while the trailers are playing and kicks your seat from behind.
They were there 30 seconds before the movie actually started. Uh, and they were loud as heck. I don't,
Where you at?
I don't
Where are we
know.
sitting here? What? What's going on?
Okay, you switch with me. Okay, is that our seat? Okay, God.
We
Great.
barely
And the
made
whole
it.
time, the whole time, I, I felt like they were intentionally kicking my. How can you hit my chair that much? Anyway, let's move on. Oh, so that looks like it was the last story that you had on here, right, Jay?
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a story too.
Okay.
And it kind of segues into that last thing that we were just talking about. Your story was about this mega ticket.
Yeah.
I saw a story. This it's from ABC News. The subject of the story is movie theater. Okay, let me switch around this a little bit because it has like a little quote here, and it says George Lucas. So I'm going to start this with that. George Lucas says movie theater ticket prices could reach $150.
uh,
At this point, I'm just staring at the camera.
And I think that was actually posted before they announced this whole $50 thing too.
So basically, what they're saying, and Spielberg seems to be on board with this, is that uh, movie tickets are increasing, at a pretty steady pace here, but that when you start to have these mega dollar um, blockbusters, that it doesn't really make sense for like whatever the next big blockbuster is to charge the same ticket price as Much Ado About Nothing, which costs like $1 million to make or something like that. We were talking about last week how The Purge just cost $2 million or something, $2 or $3 million, and so almost everything that it makes is pure profit.
mhm.
What Spielberg and Lucas are talking about is that the ticket price should scale based on the budget of the movie, and that uh, Spielberg said that he almost considered his film Lincoln as being an HBO film instead of a movie release.
That's
Yeah.
about right.
And and so and so what they're saying is, when you have these other options of how to release your movie, and they mentioned specifically like the Liberace movie Behind the Candelabra, which was just shown on HBO. When there's all these different options for how to release your movie, then there should also be an option about how much to charge for the ticket. And I I might understand charging a little bit. I mean, they're already doing that to us anyway with pushing these things into IMAX, pushing 3D onto these movies. So those are just money grabs because they're trying to increase that ticket price.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how they're getting to a figure of $150 because I'm not paying $150 for nothing.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you can make a movie for $1 billion. I'm not spending 150.
At that point, movie theaters are dead.
Right.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. They won't even be a luxury at that point. They'll be like something for like just rich people.
How are you going to take a family
Yeah.
to the new $150 movie?
Yeah. Children are
And
only 125.
and and how do you justify spending that amount of money for 2 hours? Like just looking at other entertainment choices. Look at Brian's favorite place, Disneyland.
Hmm.
You can spend all day at Disneyland and not spend $150 for one person. So how are you going to justify going to the movies for 150?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Wasn't there something they were trying to do where you could actually have the movie streamed to your house for a high price?
They tried that with that really. I never saw it, but the Tower Heist movie, the one with Matthew Broderick and Eddie Murphy, where day and date when it was released in theaters, it became available for streaming. Which it's nothing new, but it was the first time like an actual big studio movie it happened with. But they were charging $50 for you to watch it on streaming, which I believe the high price for that was explained away because, you know, if you spend $50 to rent it at home, there's nothing stopping you from inviting 10 people over to see it.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Except it was for the heist.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was for yeah. They picked the wrong movie to do that with. So, but
I can see doing something like that too, if you know.
and there was a lot of theater blowback too. A lot of theaters were threatening to not show the film if the studio did that. So I'm not exactly sure how that all turned out in the end. But regardless, the movie didn't do that great anyways, so I don't think it really affected anybody.
But I wonder if the theaters themselves will get any kickback if the ticket prices go up. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, this week you said World War Z is going to have this, right?
Yeah.
Does the theater make more money off of it, or is the studio profiting mostly?
Unless things have changed since I've worked at a theater, it shouldn't. I mean, their percentage. Well, maybe it does because they've always gotten a certain percentage out of the base ticket price. So they may get a slight increase, but it won't be that much.
But they make most of their money off the concessions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hence why you don't get a drink.
That's probably why that's probably the theater incentives that they didn't want to give you a drink. Yeah, exactly. That way you have to buy it and they still make money off you. But okay.
So that concludes the news.
Yay. Okay. So unless anybody has anything else to bring up.